Hi, I'm Zyaf. I play EA UFC 4, and I think that it has a problem. If you're like me, and you've spent way too much of your spare time watching other people play video games, you'll know that there is a countless amount of content available to anyone who wants to watch somebody play any game under the sun. And if you're on this channel and watching this video, you've probably heard of or played the game EA Sports UFC 4. Well, UFC 4 has a content problem, and I'm here to talk about it. When you hear content problem, you might think of the content within the game itself. Modes, fighters, possibilities within the video game that the player can explore. But that's not exactly the content I want to talk about today. Not yet, anyway. No, I want to talk about YouTube. If right now you launched a private browser with your search history cleared and searched UFC 4 on YouTube, your search results would look a little something like this. And this makes me a little sad. Now, not to talk about any specific creators, because I think that every creator needs to make a living. YouTube is a thankless medium, with an insatiable thirst for constant uploads and content from the channel, lest the creator fall into the bottomless pits of shadow-banned hell and never see the light of day again. So, this problem is less to blame with the creators themselves, and more of a combination of the requirements of the YouTube algorithm, and a format that has been created and never strayed from due to long-term success and sustainability of that format being proven time and time again. When it comes to consistent UFC 4 content creation, there really only seems to be one form of video that ever gets made. You know the one. If you've spent any amount of time watching UFC 4 YouTube videos, you've seen it. For the sake of simplicity, let's call it Fights on UFC 4. It sounds like exactly what it is. There's slight variations to it now and then, but at the end of the day, it boils down to the same thing. Some guy grabs a microphone and a console, boots up EA UFC 4, plays the game, and talks while they do it. Maybe they do it in different ways, maybe they do it while using specific fighters, but at the basics of the video, that's what it boils down to. So, I got to thinking, what is the cause of this? Why is it so easy to do, and why is it always happening? As has been commonly talked about among all forms of YouTube creation, it is incredibly important to be constantly pumping out content on the platform if you want to stay successful. If you don't upload for any sustained amount of time, you are actively losing out on money and viewership that comes from uploading over and over again. So, if you're a YouTuber and you need to make a living off your content, you need to upload almost every day, and that's where this style of video comes into play. Let's say you are a UFC 4 YouTuber. You've spent the time on the game to become quite good, and are charismatic enough that people will listen to you talk while playing the game. Now let's say you do it for long enough that you can make a living off of it. So what do? You need to make videos every day. You need them to be long enough to be monetizable. And you need to have a changing landscape of scenery so that viewers aren't looking at the same thing over and over again. So, you play the game. You use different fighters, sure, but you play the game and record yourself talking every day. It's quite effective. You get the best viewership by doing that, so why wouldn't you? These kinds of videos permeate the fabric of UFC 4 content creation. Any creator who wants to build a sustainable content force can pump them out every single day until the end of time. UFC 4 released on August 14th, 2020. Think about that. No, really think about that. It's 2022. UFC 4 has been out for over 2 years. And you know what? There's no sign of slowing down. Anybody who started this game by uploading this style of video, they can still do it. And why wouldn't they? The game itself perpetuates this difficulty. Simply put, there aren't really a lot of options when it comes to content creation on this game. The game itself doesn't have the tools available for someone with OBS, a microphone, a webcam, and nothing else to make content other than what the game offers to the player. Career mode isn't sustainable, you can do it once or twice maximum before you're just repeating the same motions over and over again. And after that, you really don't have anything else. You have different kinds of fights, but at the end of the day, you're still playing over those fights, you're still commentating over those fights, and you're stuck back in the cycle of creating the same video over and over until the next game comes out. And if that game has the same format and options available to the player, well, you'll be right back where you started. So now that I've laid the scenario out, it seems obvious why UFC 4 content creation is filled with these types of videos. Really, they seem to be the only option. But that's not entirely true. So let's talk about it. What can we, the community who makes this content, do to spice these videos up? And what can EA do in the future to allow the video styles available to creators to be diversified? Yeah, I know. This one seems pretty obvious. Wow, Zyaf, what a suggestion! People are making the same types of videos, so make new ones. But hear me out. This is already happening to a small degree. It's just that it hasn't been caught by the community at large because it's being mixed in with the types of videos we're used to, so it's going under the radar. But you absolutely cannot talk about UFC 4 content creation without talking about martial mind. Since UFC 3, and even somewhat UFC 2, Martial Mind has been the gold standard for content creation on the EA UFC games. And Martial did what I've already described in this video. Fighter showcases, fight breakdowns, we got what we came for, and it worked. And because it worked, and he's by far the most popular creator on these games, people began to do the same thing. Lead by example, they say. But while Martial has continued to upload this style of video, he's also sneakily been diversifying his content. Think about it. When you go on his channel, you're not seeing these styles of videos as much anymore when he's playing UFC 4. Fight simulations, comeback reactions, we're already seeing a template for diversifying content, and it doesn't have to be just him.
So I was like, he's doing it. Let me try to be a little bit more creative with it. So I was like, let me do some research. I go on Marshall's channel, and I didn't look at the typical UFC 4 videos, you know, the showcases. I looked at some of his videos where he did the trash talking, fighting a TikToker, and stuff like that, right? So I was like, how can I implement that on my channel as original content? Because that's key. Uploading the original content, you know, yourself, not as a trying to copy someone yourself, because I'm gonna be honest, if you try to do that and obviously, you know, you have less subscribers, the viewer themselves are just gonna go watch the content creator who has the more subs because they've obviously done it better and they have more views.
So if you're a creator and you're playing UFC 4, well, like I said, it's lead by example. There's no shame in following an example. As well as that, you can always try something completely new. I've done it in the past with my video essays. I'm doing it now. Talk about the game and the community surrounding it, not just the gameplay itself. Imagine, if you will, a scenario where you could go onto YouTube and find videos that analyze the different styles of competitive players, broke down fights between popular creators, or made critiques on the deeper mechanics of the game we play. That is something that could very easily happen. And that is just one way that the styles of videos could be diversified. The Lord above knows that I and many other people would watch the hell out of videos like that. It's no secret that UFC 4 is a bit lacking when it comes to replay value if you're not just playing fights over and over again. There aren't many modes or different ways to make entertainment for yourself. So, and this is a common ask from players, but any developers or people watching this video connected to EA, there need to be more modes and ways to play the game. Because when you have new ways to play the game, you have new content ready to be made. Content means diversification, and diversification means more videos, which means more publicity for you. Universe mode is the immediate thing that comes to mind. Manage an entire organization, create the fights you want to see, work on contracts, promote events, build relationships between fighters. Career mode is an individual fighter's world. Make universe mode the promoter's world. Let someone start on top of the UFC or at the bottom of the feeder leagues and climb their way up to become the president. Imagine the content that could be made from the options. UFC 4's career mode was hyped up to be shifting in possibility and unscripted, but it failed to live up to expectations due to a length of repetition issues and a lack of actual meaningful change in scenario. In contrast, universe mode could be dynamic, always shifting, always changing. The infinite amount of variables given to such a wide spread of gameplay mechanics cause for an infinite amount of scenarios, each one unique and presenting itself to a never-ending stream and flow of different and entertaining videos for consumption.
Hopefully in the next game, they could kind of do something like that, universe mode. They kind of got to add a lot more depth to the career mode. I think that's a lot of creators, well, a lot of creators can have their bread and butter at, but the career mode is just so lackluster. It's kind of like you got to get way too creative when you shouldn't. You got to create your own storylines. You got to create all these things yourselves within, you know, the realm of a video instead of it actually being inside of the game.
Honestly, I think that the point of the game where UFC 4 content was at its most fresh and diverse was when different players, high level and not, were offering differing tips and points of view on how best to play the game. Think about it, it's a deep exploration into mechanics and allows for different videos to be made depending on the topic available to explore by that specific creator. The problem is, we didn't think big enough. Every video made in this style was about the basic aspects of the game. Top 5 combinations, my favorite submissions, use this simple trick to beat top players. Not that these videos are bad, but there's only so many of them that can be made. So, go bigger. Dive deeper into the aspects of the game that haven't been talked about at large. If you're a top player, why not make videos breaking down the styles of specific players and talk about the weapons that would best be used to equip somebody to deal with that style? Make a video on how to set up highlight knockouts. It's a fighting simulation, and what we all know about fighting is that anything can happen. Take that idea and run with it. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not trying to belittle anybody for creating the content that they want to. If you watch this video and decide that this isn't for you and you'd rather just play the game and commentate over it and let people watch, I'm not going to attack you for that. Nobody's going to whine or complain that it's the content we're getting. I'm just a creator and somebody who wants to see the community elevate itself. We've done it before. ESFL is doing incredible things with the competitive community, giving us the most intriguing and unique season of competitive gaming I've ever seen. But we can do more. The content of the game can be better, it can be bigger, and it's up to the creators and developers to allow that to happen. It's why I haven't uploaded in 3 months, because I was trying to put this video, this idea, into words, into a video. And it's a video we haven't seen before. If I can do that, so can you.